matches to be played today. Remember, Gor Mahia will be in action taking on Tunisia's Esperance. Now, as promised earlier, we have in studio Football Kenya Federation President Nick Mwendwa, and we are going to talk extensively about the state of football in the country. He will be here with us for the next 30 or 40 minutes talking about, the state of football and what we expect. Are we moving in the right direction? Good afternoon, Nick.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Very well.
Good to have you in studio. I heard that you are at Chapadimba.
Yes, we just done the finals.
Yes.
We were in the final, boys, just a few minutes ago. Fantastic finale. Fantastic project and tournament around the country for the first time in many years. I think that grassroots is what we are made of. Football development is what we have to focus on. And that's a classic example of what you can do with good football development.
Yeah. Let me ask you, why is it that you get love and hate in equal measure?
For many reasons. This office of football is about passion. And when your two teams are playing, you either support one and you don't like the other one because you want your team to win. That mentality in football is there. So when you see sometimes these kind of passions, you understand them because we all come from that background where you have your team and you were rooting for your team to win by all means. It's something in football that you cannot change. But nonetheless, it's also because in Kenyan football was never developed for 35 years. Way before I came here, when I was 3 years, is when we last had a football academy in this country. So over that period of time, football was never developed. Football was never managed properly for even just 2 years. It's always squabbles and fights and all that. And that kind of catches up with us sometimes. I was elected in February 2016. This is February 2018. We are 2 years later, going into year 3. And you can see that we have stability at FKF. You do not see fights. You do not see this kind of things. That wasn't there before.
Yes.
But also, it's where we come from. And that's why I think that your answer about why some people are not happy
Hate
with us.
and love at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, as we get to this conversation, I want to take you back 2 weeks ago in Kakamega, where we had former stakeholders in football, if I may say, who said that, they are calling for your resignation. Let's take a look at this before we get into this conversation.
Alfred Monte.
Killer area in Alia, right from coast. Coast are complaining, Eastern are complaining, Nairobi, Rift Valley, Nyanza, and Western. Na wote wako hapa leo, so we are going to address those issues. Referees wale ambao walikuwa suspended warudishwe, and then kuna timu ambao ilitolewa juzi, Lubinu United. Lubinu United ilimaliza namba 9 kwa nationwide. Huwezi toa timu ambayo imaliza namba 9 unaitoa. Hiyo ni siasa za watu wa Nairobi.
Are appealing to an immediate football revolution to redeem Kenya's image in football, not only in East Africa, but in Africa and in the whole world.
Kitu Nick Mwendwa wanaikamata kama ni yake pale wakiwa na Mudhomi. It is a one-man monopoly in football.
Well, that was a meeting that was held in Kakamega 2 weeks ago with former stakeholders in football and other stakeholders that were calling for Nick Mwendwa to resign and give up that is his position in football. He's here in studio with us. We'll be speaking to him. We want to get his position on that before we start talking about, what to expect and where we are heading in Kenya as a country when it turns to sport. Nick, you've listened to the gentlemen, what they had to say. What are your thoughts? What do you have to say?
Even in national politics,
yes,
when a group of people lose elections, what happens? When you're about to get to another cycle of elections, they start making themselves relevant. So I don't have a lot to say about those gentlemen. The gentleman was speaking, by the way, Robinson,
yes,
got 2 votes in the deputy president race when I was being elected. So I don't want to say a lot about them. I think they have a right. A lot of them, by the way, are suspended members of our federation. So we can have that discussion another day. This you will see on many occasions. It doesn't disturb me. What I am concerned about is the Chapadimba I've come from today. What I'm concerned about is football development and education. Because in Kenya, we had to choose what to do. We chose to go for football development. Under 13 leagues, under 15 leagues, Chapadimba. All right? Last year, we took 36 kids to Southampton. Those kids, they played against Chelsea, against Porto. We brought them back. We put them in schools, Robinson. These kids are in 2 centers of excellence, Liza Hill Academy and Juja Preparatory. And we are paying everything in school. That kid will never pay anything from 1 to from 4. That's what I'm concerned about, Robinson. I am concerned about the women football, where we have Women Premier League. 16 teams. Division 1, 16 teams. Was not there before. I am concerned how we will run that league. And that is why through our FIFA initiative last year, we applied to say our money for development. And you need to understand, Robinson, we receive 125 million from FIFA. 50 million goes to administrative things. Salaries, those kind of things. Yes. But 75 million, you have to pinpoint to FIFA what you want to do. We consciously said we want to put that money in our women leagues. That's why you saw us giving them 750,000 shillings a few days ago to support their effort in what they've been doing. You're going to see now in this window, Robinson,
yes,
we have 5 teams taken to the sky. National under 17 will be going to Burundi for Sekafa. Starlets are playing in Sekafa and they're playing against Uganda, home and away for the qualifier. They're going for a friendly match in Zambia. The Stars, Harambee Stars are playing against Komoro on Thursday.
Yes.
And they're playing against Central Republic of Africa on Monday. I am concerned about under 20, which has been in camp and which is going to play against Rwanda to qualify. And then I'm concerned about under 23 for the first time, traveling to Uzbekistan. And then we're preparing that team for the 2020 Olympics. So those are the things I'm concerned about. If you ask me about this kind of guys, we will meet, Robinson, and you will laugh. When you meet, you'll be in the studio laughing.
Yes, you've talked about education and development. You brought in Andreas Piers as the head of technical, and he's been training coaches in the country. But has he come up with a curriculum, probably, that the coaches that we have in the country can go through, to better them?
So what we have done is something, again, never done before. We developed a curriculum with the Kenyatta University, a football curriculum. We passed it, a football curriculum. We developed instructors. They have gone across the country in 2016 and 2017 and trained 2,000 coaches. As we speak right now, they are on the ground again in the effort again to train another 2,000 coaches between now and end of next year. So we already have 2,000 coaches trained for their basic. We have another 600 that are doing their C license. And then we're going to have another 200 that are doing their B license. That is already being done. And these coaches are the ones that are coaching the teams in Chapadimba. The Chapadimba you see going on now, yes, the coaches that are there are coming from who we trained. All right? So that effort is going on. That education, yes, is a key to our success. Yes. Because if we don't give that education to these kids, then we have a problem. Yes. If we don't develop the youth and put them in the centers of excellence, now we have Juja Preparatory, yes, good pitches, good education, Liza Hill. We are going to Machakos Academy for girls. So that is, instead of developing a full academy because we don't have money, we partner with schools. So we pick these kids from schools, we put them together in one school. We bring a coach and train them. That is already happening in the last 2 years. You will see the impact in a couple of years that are coming. That's why you see our under 20 now, we're selecting across the country. Before it used to be Nairobi alone. Now under 13 is selected from Migori, from Mombasa, from all over the country, because we want to train these kids and put them all together. Yes. The national teams now, you will see its outlook. It's fantastic. We have under 17. They will go to under 20. We have under 20. They'll go to under 23. After that, they become pros, and we have them for the A team. The same thing is happening for women. We played under 20 last year. We were knocked out by Ghana. We've been doing this for years. Yes. Now, we've taken 11 kids from under 20 of women. Yes. They're in the senior talents. You will see them this coming week training to play against Zambia in Dola in the coming week. So we're going to spend 61 million shillings, which we don't have, and which we are sourcing in different ways, between now and the next 4 weeks, to have these teams play. Never been done before. That's what our concern is. That's what we're doing, Robinson.
Yes, you've spoken about having, you need 61 million, which you don't have, and which you need to source for, which brings me to the question, about sponsorship. Your main sponsor pulled out, and after pulling out, you now have to go back and look for sources that will get you this money. And as get your mic checked up, it's not okay at the moment. As I get that, we would like to know, or rather, Kenyans would like to know, yes, where are we going to get this money? Where, as the federation, if you get this money, how are you going to use it? And recently, we saw you, give 12 million shillings to the ladies' teams, which is a noble, cause, and each team getting 750,000 rather. And we also want to take a look at the national teams, that is Starlets and also Harambee Stars. They are supposed to be in action during the International Friendly Week, and they will be playing away. Do we have the infrastructure that we need to sustain these two teams here in the country? Do we have, everything that we need? We'll also be talking about stadiums. Bomu Stadium, you mentioned about it, and you say that, there are some things that need to be sorted before we take a look at that. But let's start about with the funding. Let's start with funding.
So I hope you can hear me now.
Yes.
So let me talk about money.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, football and sports requires money, Robinson.
It's true.
If we are not going to have money, we cannot run these things. We had a serious effect with politics last year. We had a serious effect with SportPesa going out last year, because SportPesa was putting a lot of money in football, about 500 million shillings a year. And so what we did, we spoke to government, because our three key sponsors was FIFA, government, key sponsor, and SportPesa.
Yes.
SportPesa went out. But SportPesa kept the two teams, Leopards and Gor were kept. But we lost KPL and FKF. We're still talking to them, trying to talk to them. But government agreed that they will step in. So we went to government and said, this is the budget we need, this is what we need to do. But remember, national teams have always been the work of government, especially on qualifiers. So government is going on to do. I can tell you that government is already paying for going to Morocco, and is going to pay for Starlets to go and play against Zambia and against the qualifiers for Uganda. Government will pay for under-20 to play against Rwanda. That they have to do, and they have agreed to do. There's just a shortage of money right now because of supplementary budget issues and treasury. We're talking to them and pushing. They will be back again tomorrow. We are at it. But I can tell you that Morocco, tomorrow, in the morning, early in the morning, the local players are traveling to Morocco. That's already been done. Tickets are there, everything done, allowances done. I can tell you that tomorrow evening, the national team under 23, although that is being paid for, we have to be creative, being paid for by Uzbekistan, they are leaving tomorrow evening with Coach Kimanzi. That's already been sorted out. At the end of the week, tomorrow the women come to camp. At the end of the week, they will start to move to play in Douala on 24th, to play in Douala on 24th. Again, that we are discussing with the ministry tomorrow. So before I leave on Wednesday for the matches, we can sort that out. So government is taking care of that. But in the meantime, we're also talking now to other stakeholders, other people who can come in. It's taking a while because the confidence has been lacking. In Kenya, there's a problem with sponsors.
What is the problem? What is the problem?
Because we never created a product. It is just now that we're beginning to make the product. A product that marketing directors can appreciate. We don't have that culture yet. It will take a while before we can create it. We're taking a long time because our big clubs have been suffering. They should be very attractive, but they are not. People have not been coming and running over hills to invest in them. Harambee Stars is our top product. People have not been running for it. Why? Maybe we need to go to the World Cup. But before we get there, government has agreed that they will support us. It has not fully happened by now, but we are looking forward to it. So let me talk about stadium, because it's important. So every nation has to develop infrastructure. You cannot develop talent and have nowhere to play from. We've just been playing at Nairobi Steamer today, and the pitch after being raided on yesterday was pathetic.
Yes.
We have to appreciate as Kenyans that for the last 35 years, pitches and stadia were not fixed. Now we've spoken to government with the Chan business, and they are fixing the 4 stadia: Nyayo, Kasarani, Kinoru, and Eldoret. We just engaged with Governor Sonko. We are going to embark on fixing City to become a proper super stadium the way Nyayo will be. We just engage Governor Joho, and Mombasa Municipal will be. Now let me talk about Bomu. We went to Bomu, and we want to encourage those kind of pitches that are in the mtaa, because those are the ones we'll develop the kids at. But we wanted to play there under 20, and we agreed certain things need to be done, so we can bring Egypt. But Egypt came back to us and said they don't want to come to us in this period. They want us to postpone. So we've agreed with the governor to push this for another 1 month, to fix the few things we said about lighting, spaces behind the goalpost. So Bomu will host matches. But that's not the big point. The big point is that Governor Sonko has agreed to make similar to Bomu Stadium, 5 of them in Dandora, Kiumbuini, in Woodley. And we're giving them the spec and working with them so that our children have spaces to go and train from. It's very important to understand that this is the only way we can build. The other thing, I was in Taveta the other day. They have a stadium, was never fixed. The governor is sourcing for funds now so we can make it a mini stadium. Not expensive, $2 million, good stadium where you can host national, county events and also football events. So that every county in the next 10 years should have at least one where it has changing rooms, good surface for kids to play, and can host big events. Not the biggest like Chan, but good events like the Kenya Premier League can be hosted there. We're looking at Nanyuki as well. My CEO has been there. We've agreed with the governor. We look at Nanyuki Stadium. How can we make it better? So we're looking at infrastructure, but we cannot do it alone. It's not the job of FKF. Ours is to push, because government at national and county level have to invest in it. It's very important to be understood. I'm looking forward to finishing of this stadium. There's been some delays from time to time, but we are pushing to make sure that they're finished, because we have to play here in Kenya in May.
Yes.
That's a tall order, because we've been dragging behind. And we're playing Ghana, as you know, in September for the Cup of AFCON qualifiers.
Now, we have to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll still be talking about Harambee Stars, Harambee Starlets, and the direction of football in the country with the FKF president, Nick Mwendwa. And we'll also have your top 5 moments of the week. That's when we come back.